So going back to the Air Force and this piece on drones here. So is it possible to attach facial recognition to a drone, right? So every time you open the papers, you turn on TV, our drones have blown up some Afghan wedding, okay? Like a wedding is the worst invitation you could get in Afghanistan. Someone invites you to a wedding, for God's sakes, don't go, okay? Could we have facial recognition that actually picks out the right guy at this wedding so you don't blow up the whole wedding party every weekend?
Hypothetically, yes. You're what you're talking about fundamentally is identifying someone from a camera. So that technology, is possible. We're not working on drone-based facial recognition to target a specific individual at a wedding in Afghanistan.
Okay. Guys, so don't attack him for that, okay? He's not a part of that. The next dude. Anyway, go on.
So, is that possible? The short answer is yes, but there are a lot of ethical conversations around, the human having to make that decision and whether or not that information is enough to add a level of decision making to that process that already exists. I'm not as familiar with the chain of command for when a drone is sent over a wedding, and someone's got to make the decision to press the button. I think it actually has to be two people that make that decision. So
right now, one of them people is Stevie Wonder. I can tell you that right now, because these dudes, I don't know what they're looking at. Like every time is, we apologize. Right.
So is it possible? I would say yes, because you're talking fundamentally about a camera recognizing a face. Mm-hmm. Do you have the accuracy that you need to make that decision? I don't know. Again, we're not working in those types of environments.
Okay, but like stepping away from Trueface for a second, that would make it. I mean, you don't want to have a drone strike on anyone, but add a little bit more security to the decision being made, right? If you could,
it would. If you could do that, yes, it would. But the moral question there is: are we weaponizing artificial intelligence?
Okay,
and that's it's a pretty strong topic right now, and it's something that needs to be really thought through because, like you said, it could eliminate collateral damage. It could be used to target to the specific person, and does that ultimately help reduce the damage that we're causing, and also take out the individual that needs to be taken out for whatever reason that is? It's a big question, and it's something that really needs to be considered at our government level, at our private level. So there's a lot that goes into that.
Well, because I know a lot of people out there very sensitive about training artificial intelligence to kill. But in this particular situation, you'd at least kind of get the right dude, But I'm not endorsing using AI. I'm not trying to create Skynet here, guys. I'm just asking questions.
I think what it comes down to is the human has to make the decision. Mm-hmm. This technology is not meant to automate decisions. It's meant to provide better information.
But we are moving towards a world wherein, rather than sending a Navy SEAL, we will be sending robots. You could see that happening.
I could see that happening, yes.
How far will you think we are from that?
I'd say 10 years.
Jesus, that's not even that far, okay? I might still be alive, okay? If I come back on drinking, a little bit more vegetables, I could be there. So so you could see that about 10 years away. But I know the U.S., the way we're raised to think, we would not want our government to have that kind of technology. But however, on the other side, with countries like China, they won't have those kinds of reservations. So you have no choice but to weaponize AI, don't we?
I think in a way it's similar to what happened with nuclear weapons. And so, is it something that we have to build just to show the world that we have it, or that we're most advanced in it? And again, this is above my pay grade. I don't know the answer to this, but I think that's how we have to think about it is, if China is advancing, do we need to continue to try to surpass them? Or do we say that's something that we don't want to build because of an ethical or moral issue, or that's how we're raised here? And then we now put ourselves in a position where if we go to a digital-based war or a robot-based war, we're at a disadvantage, a significant disadvantage. So I think when I look at above my pay grade, when I look at the future of war, I think of it more as cyber attacks. I think, why wouldn't you go after a power grid or a water supplies? And I think that's where we have to have protection, because that is critical to us living our lives.
And our power grid's old as hell, right?
Right, and it's much more effective than soldiers on the ground with machine guns trying to kill people in a field. And so I think we've advanced to that point. And I see your point about robots fighting this war for us. But, I think it's important for the United States to really be in front of this race on AI. And it's a space race, right? It's going back then. And so it's important for us to know what our competition has, what the other countries have, and how we can surpass that.
So what kind of president, we're not talking about Donald Trump right now, just in general, what kind of president does the United States need to get us to that next level?
I'm in no position to say that. I am a personal or a private citizen, and my view shouldn't be weighed any more than anyone else's. So, I think it takes someone that has the willingness to take a risk on innovation and invest in artificial intelligence.
And whoever the president is, I mean, regardless of party, should really take AI seriously.
This should not be a party decision, and I think, unfortunately, we're in a position where parties take a very strong stance on one side or the other, artificial intelligence or not, facial recognition or ban it entirely. And that does a disservice to us as the people of the United States, because you are going to stifle innovation because of something that your party upholds as true, not you. It's a problem. That's a big problem with our politics today. And I think the individual that's in office, next, whether he wins re-election or someone else comes in, or, in the next 6 to 8 years, needs to really take artificial intelligence and cybersecurity very seriously, because that is going to be the foundation of how this country operates in 10 years.
Cool. You need to have a course, Understanding AI for Idiots in Congress, just a book. How many congressmen and senators are there? Like 400 and something? You just need 400 and some copies. You could use Amazon to print that. Self-publish it.